Number 11, Kansas State men's basketball lost to number 17 TCU today, 82 to 68. But the final score didn't indicate how bad the game was at points, because Kansas State was down by over 20 points in this game. I mean, when you look at it, TCU scored 43 points in the first half, 29 points for Kansas State in the first half. Both teams scored 39 points in the second half, but it ain't going to get the job done, Kansas State. And now I look really, really bad for putting you in the top 10, unlike some other teams. But you're still a top 25 team. There's no question you're going to be. It's a matter of how much you drop. Kansas State shot the ball 43.1% from the field, 28 for 65 overall, 6 for 21 on threes, which is 28.6%. You got to make more threes. 6 for 7 on free throws, which is 85.7%. 40 rebounds, 13 of those offensive, 15 assists, 8 steals, 4 blocks, 20 turnovers is way too much, and 17 fouls. And granted, they did have 22 points off the bench today, but that clearly did not make the difference. I mean, TCU didn't have as many. I mean, like 7, 9, 13, 16 points off the bench. TCU shot the ball better today than Kansas State, 46.5%, 33 for 71 overall. And granted, TCU is 3 for 19 on threes, which is 15.8%. They have to work on that. And they're not known as a three-point shooting team, which means they like to drive to get to mid-range shots or even long twos, besides layups and dunks. 13 for 19 on free throws, which is 68.4%. Eventually, that three-point shooting bug weakness for TCU might hurt them in the NCAA tournament, but it's way down the line here. 39 rebounds, 14 of those offensive. Yes, they got out-rebounded by 1. But they had 22 assists, 15 steals, 4 blocks, 10 turnovers. Usually when you win the turnover battle, you win the game. And you only had 8 fouls. So going forward for Kansas State, they got number 2 Kansas. Well, I will say this to Kansas. Prepare for war for Jerome Tang. I'm serious. I think Kansas State has a legit chance to beat Kansas, especially if Kansas is still unbeaten in the Big 12. I mean, then Kansas State hosts Texas Tech, that's 10-6. Then they go on the road to number 14 Iowa State, that's 13-2, who is playing Kansas right now. Then they host 9-7 Florida. Florida should be a 1. Then they go on the road to Kansas. That's going to be tough. But I think that Kansas State somehow splits with Kansas. But I don't know about beating them both, especially at Allen Fieldhouse. That's just the next 5 games right there for Kansas State. Now, for TCU side of things, they go on the road to West Virginia. Yes, they're winless in the Big 12, but that's not going to be an easy place to play. Then they go on the road to number 2 Kansas. Good luck with that in Lawrence. Though they had some close games there in the Big 12 this year in Lawrence. They host 11-6 Oklahoma. Then they go on the road to Mississippi State, that's 12-4. And then the following game is West Virginia, but this time in Fort Worth. You should not lose that game at home. You shouldn't. But you never know. The Big 12 is just really strong this year. I mean, when you look at the top 10 schedules remaining, it's everyone in the Big 12. Anyways, if you like this content, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. It's getting to 500 subscribers. We're on the road to it. Let's go.